Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's a special one. Today we're going to be talking about my personal favorite dupe fragrance, and if not one of my favorite fragrances or fragrance profiles in general. So when we talk about dupe fragrances and we talk about that whole Arab dupe world, you usually hear the typical Rasasi Hawas, you got your Afnan 9 p.m. or your Lattafa Kamra. This one's a Kawa, which in my opinion is the best out of the line. But in today's video, today's special guest, I feel like it doesn't get talked about a lot, and I feel like it needs more of the recognition that it deserves. Now that fragrance in question is I'm gonna butcher the name here, but the Lattafa Hayaatim right here, which is a rich, elegant, sexy fragrance that is a dupe of the discontinued Paco Rabanne 1 Million Lucky Edition. And we'll get more into it later in the video, but to me, that scent profile is so unique, and it is one of my favorite scent profiles and fragrances that I've ever had. All right, but first things first, let me put a little disclaimer out there that especially, with this fragrance, I have to be honest that it was one of my first fragrances that I've ever purchased. Not this one and specifically, but the 1 Million Lucky. So it could be that that my opinion on this, especially the scent profile, is a bit biased by nostalgia. For example, it was one of my first fragrances. Well, my first real fragrance was Polo Red, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. But no, this fragrance was my first real fragrance that I was in uni, my first year of uni, and I remember I used to go to the fragrance shop in York, and I would just go there and just smell fragrances. And I remember that 1 Million Lucky was immediately caught my attention, and I was just wearing it throughout my whole kind of uni years, the whole 3 years. And it was always my go-to, and uni is really when I started getting into fragrances. So that was when I would having rotation. I knew nothing about the fragrance world and top notes, middle notes, base notes, longevity, performance, season. I didn't even know that fragrance is really seasonal or anything, which is still up for debate, I guess you could say, because who really knows. But yeah, so I was just enjoying fragrances. I remember I would have a different fragrance for every single day of the week, and it was just random. There was no like, oh, this day I go to the gym, so I'm gonna wear more of a freshy or a blue fragrance for the more versatile type of fragrances. No, I didn't know what niche is. I didn't know what anything was. So this one was kind of my go-to. This would probably be my versatile fragrance. In uni. But also, important note about that disclaimer is that I know that a lot of people love this fragrance as well, this scent profile, but a lot of people don't. I think it's maybe hit or miss, and because it's such a strong and unique fragrance, I think it's not like a blue fragrance where you can have kind of like, oh, it smells good. I think a fragrance like this is either, I wouldn't say it's that strong or that unique that it's either you, or like some niche fragrances where either you hate it or love it, but definitely has its profile and definitely has its fan base as well. I think it's one of those that people really, really either love this like me, or there's a lot of people because of that hype kind of think, ooh, it's overrated. But other than that, just that disclaimer, and at the end of the day, everyone's different. So definitely, but definitely, we'll get more into the notes and everything. But that is by no means saying that this doesn't have the potential to being an all-time great. Right, so now let's get into the scent profile. Before I go through the notes, I like to just give my own personal what I smell out of the fragrance, and kind of my abstract opinion or my abstract description of what you might smell when smelling this. Because I don't know about you guys, but especially for fragrances, I have a very imaginative like mind, where whenever I smell a fragrance, I don't really smell like notes as much as I get images and I get like situations. Like when I smell this, I feel like I'm in, walking in New England autumn, leaves falling October, you know what I mean? So the best way I can describe this fragrance right here is just think of like a dripping caramel honey yellow dream. So I know that's a bit abstract, but it's kind of just like what I get. It's what I get out of it. So I saw some of the reviews of this before, and a lot of the reviews said that this dupe gets around 80%, 80 to 85% closeness to the original. I'm getting, maybe because I haven't, my original's back at home in the United States and I haven't smelt it in some time, but I get more 90%. It's very close. The only difference I would say is that this one has more of a pineapple pear fruity twist to it. So it's a bit more fruity. While the other one, the original, is more elegant, you can say. But that, now we're nitpicking. You know what I mean? Really close. Really, immediately when I smelt it, I got memories, that flashback. It's like in that scene in Ratatouille when the guy's when he's tasting the food and then he's getting flashbacks to his mom's cooking. Exact same thing here. Flashbacks to my uni life, abusing the original. And yeah, let's get into the notes breakdown. I have it here. So out of the notes, what we get is the top notes are grape, pineapple, and lime. While you get middle notes is just, it's a floral middle note. So in the middle notes you get floral. And the base notes are musk, sandalwood, and caramel. To me, the main notes that stick out when smelling this fragrance is the fruit notes that you get, sandalwood, and caramel. And when I say that it smells fruity, like the fruit twist, it's not your typical vibrant fruit smell that you get out of a freshie or you get out of a blue fragrance, for example. It's more of a warm, musky backdrop of fruit that's just lingering in the background to give it more of a sophisticated scent profile, and to balance the sandalwood, the sandalwood, honey, musk, and balance the fragrance in general. This in particular, I know this one in particular is advertised as unisex. Definitely can be masculine. I'm not sure if I'm 100% that's a pure unisex only fragrance. And I know a lot of fragrances, especially dupes, but fragrances in general, they're commercialized as unisex when in reality they're more erring on the masculine or feminine side. But definitely I can see how it is unisex, obviously, because it's very sweet, and but definitely can be can be seen as a masculine scent. Like I said, I get a sophisticated, sexy, and romantic scent profile from this. Right, now let's get into the seasons, occasions, longevity, and performance. I definitely can see myself wearing this fragrance in practically all the seasons, but definitely fall and winter. It really stands out as a fall and winter fragrance. Some summer nights, and spring, I would probably go for a different scent profile, something more fresh, something more green, and watery. But definitely for the fall and winter, you can use it as a sophisticated daily driver. Don't see this as a only use on special occasions type of fragrance. If you want, like I said, sophisticated daily driver in the winter, that's not, because I don't really see myself wearing a fruity, fresh, blue, versatile fragrance, especially in those winter months. So this would be perfect as a substitution and a replacement for that, especially in the, like I said, fall, winter. So as for the occasions I would wear this to, I would wear them to more social, close environments. Occasions, what do I mean by that? If you're going for dinner and drinks, on a date, things like that, to someone's house, I would definitely avoid going clubbing with a scent like this, because especially in the clubs, you have a lot of other scents. You have a lot of the scent of the club, which is very, very strong. So it can really mask and overtake the scent profile of this fragrance, because, like I said, it's not really a punchy, strong, scent that's really in your face. So it's not going to be one of those really beast mode type scents that can cut through wind, can cut through, let's say, background noise of other scents, like what you would find in a club, for example. It really shines more when there is a, let's say, neutral scent environment or background, and more of an intimate place where you're getting more close with each other because of its really sexy, sweet attraction type of vibe to it. So that's why I recommend it in more intimate occasions. So its performance is decent. I think it definitely really shines more the projection aspect rather than longevity. It has a really good, nice and strong projection for the especially for the first couple hours. That I think can come from the unique scent profile. The longevity is decent. I would say bang average. Typical after 5 to 6 hours, it becomes more of a skin scent. So yeah. But that being said, this is also, I haven't really tested it. I've gone through a lot of it, as you can probably see, but I haven't really tested it in the scenarios that I have actually recommended to use them in. I've been testing it in kind of this London, lots windy, outside, kind of daily driver type of scent. So I would say it's a bit unfair, of this review saying that, no, the projection, the longevity is not very good, because I haven't really tried it in those more calmer environments. So for me, I might have gotten 5 to 6 or 7 hours of longevity with this, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of you guys or other people have gotten a lot longer, in those type of closed, intimate environments. I would definitely say, though, it probably performs better than the original. I do remember the original being quite weak and having to reapply it. take all this with a grain of salt when I say weak, especially for a fragrance like this with this scent profile, and comparing it to similar scents and fragrances. It is definitely above average, above average. It's just not going to be your typical beast mode. Let me see if I can, your Afnan Supremacy Collector Edition, this beast mode. This will last you 12 hours. Projection crazy, 8 to 10 hour projection. It's definitely not along those lines, but for in its own world, above average performance. But yeah, that's about it. Amazing fragrance, super underrated, not talked about enough. Is it blind buy safe? Considering that the original is discontinued, in the sense that you most likely won't be able to go to your local fragrance shop and get the tester of the original. Considering the price, which is about, at the time of recording, about $28 US, definitely yes, definitely blind buy safe. It's definitely probably not your typical mass appealing scent profile that everyone is going to love. I love how unique it is. But at the same time, I have to also put another disclaimer. I've never really been into the typical Bleu de Chanel, Mont Blanc Explorer, YSLY, EDP, those typical mass appealing scents that have a lot of, blind buy security behind them and a lot of hype behind them because of that. I always found them to be just a bit boring, just a bit blah, and a lot of times I don't really smell them on me because of how unoriginal, you could say, they are. I wouldn't say unoriginal, but how kind of basic they are, basic blue scents. So I've always had a kind of preference for something a bit. Now, I'm not saying I love niche fragrances, but I've always been into more sweets. I've always been into something that's a bit, I like fresh fragrances, but I want something that's a bit more out there. It may sound ironic, but one of my favorite fresh fragrances out there is Versace Pour Homme. That with this is up there for some of my favorite fragrances. I just feel like they just give a little something more than just a typical blue freshie. But yeah, so definitely blind buy safe. I think everyone should at least have tried this scent profile. But just don't be surprised if you try it and it's a bit, ooh, I don't know about this. Maybe I feel like it's, like I said, looking at the reviews of what other people think, it's a bit split decision. Some people think, not my cup of tea, too feminine, too sweet, too this or that. Or you have people like me who live by this. But yeah, that's about it for today. I'm looking forward to get more into fragrance content. It's a bit hard for me when I'm always traveling, and trying to survive economically in a city like London. But definitely, I love fragrances. I've been into them for lots of years now. So it's definitely something that I looked forward to in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.